What's up guys, Paul here from Ecommerce Gold, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing one of the biggest names in e-commerce, and that is of course Shopify. And in this review I'm going to be looking at the pricing, the features, the performance, and what it's like to use the Shopify platform. So you're going to want to stick around because I do go quite in depth in this review, which is why my reviews are generally quite a lot longer than most other people's reviews of e-commerce platforms. So with the introduction out of the way, let's jump into my computer so I can get this review started. Now, as I said, the first thing I'm going to be looking at is the pricing, and Shopify is pretty much in line with the majority of other platforms when it comes to their pricing. In fact, I think Shopify set the standard when it comes to pricing, because most basic packages are around about that $30-ish a month, and Shopify comes in just under that at $29. But they also have two larger packages, which are the standard package, which is $79 a month, and the advanced package, which is $299 a month. But what do you get with the basic package? Because that's what most people are going to go with to start with. Well, with the basic package, you get unlimited products, no turnover limit, and unlimited data storage, which is great because you know you're not going to run out of space when it comes to uploading your product images and any content you want to put on your website. You also get a free SSL certificate, and you get access to 24/7 support from the Shopify support team, which is not something that's offered on every single platform out there. So this is actually a really good feature. Now, the one negative I do have when it comes to Shopify pricing is the transaction fees. This is because when you make any sale and the payment is processed by any gateway other than Shopify payments, you are charged this additional transaction fee. And on the basic package, this is 2%. And this can work out quite expensive. For example, if you've done $50,000 a year in transactions using PayPal as your payment gateway, you'll be paying an additional $1,000 to Shopify just in transaction fees, and this can make the platform quite expensive. So it is something you do want to be aware of when you're figuring out the cost and the pricing of your site. But this does reduce as you move up through the packages. So when you move onto the standard package, this does drop to 1%, and when you move onto the advanced package, this does drop to 0.5%. So as your site grows, you will be paying less in transaction fees in terms of percentages to the Shopify platform. So that's the pricing of the Shopify platform, and as I say, it's pretty much in line with everybody else in the industry. The only main difference is that transaction fee, and I'm just not a big fan of transaction fees. But with the pricing out of the way, let's move on to the next thing, which is the features. Now, a quick side note here, if anybody does want to check out what I'm looking at on the screen, this is my full written review of the Shopify platform. Now, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go and check it out for yourself, because there's probably something in there that I'm going to forget to cover in this video, and I have gone through the platform in quite a lot of depth in this written review as well. So it might be worth going and checking that out if you are interested in using Shopify. So with that side note out of the way, let's carry on. Another thing is customer reviews, because whenever I review a platform, I always want to see what other people think of the platform, especially people who are using it on a daily basis, not just people like me who review the platforms. And when I was looking through the reviews, I was reading through a lot of the Trustpilot reviews, and a lot of them were people actually reviewing merchants who use Shopify as a platform for their website, not actually the platform itself. And a lot of the reviews I found that were from actual users of the Shopify platform were actually quite positive. So this isn't a true reflection of how their users feel about the platform. It's just one thing, if you're looking into any kind of reviews of Shopify, is don't take this one completely seriously, because a lot of it isn't actually about Shopify itself, just the merchants who use it. A quick bit of information for you there. So let's move on to the features of Shopify. Now, as one of the leading names when it comes to e-commerce, it's not surprising that Shopify is loaded with features. And these are all available on the basic package, and you do get more features as you move on to the bigger packages such as the standard or advanced package. And you get a lot of features. As you can see on the screen, you get things like multi-language, so you can display your site in multiple languages. So if you want to reach a global audience where English isn't their primary language, you can do that. There's product reviews, you can sell digital products, you can sell gift vouchers on your site. One great thing is there's actually a Shopify management app which you can download onto your phone or tablet, and then you can manage your Shopify store on the go. It's a really useful tool. When it comes to marketing, Shopify is really, really strong. There's a lot you can do when it comes to marketing. You do get a Google AdWords credit. I think it's $75 when you actually sign up to Shopify, which is really useful, but you don't want to waste that $75. So make sure you actually do some research on how to use that before you go and splurge the money on something that's not going to generate you any money in return. You can also sell on Facebook. You can generate discount codes, which you can use with email marketing or social media marketing campaigns. There's abandoned cart recovery. Your users can also share your products and any page on your site directly to their social media accounts. You also get a blog as well, which is fantastic because it's one of the best ways of actually creating content on your site that You can rank other than your products. It's a great marketing tool and great SEO tool. Definitely something you do want to be using. You also can create custom metadata, so custom meta titles and meta descriptions, and it generates SEO friendly URLs. So all these things combined give you a good basis for building an e-commerce website. There's a lot of tools and a lot of features here that really do give you a good foundation of building a successful e-commerce website. You also get really good reporting and analytics within Shopify. You can see product reports, so see what's selling. You get traffic reports as well, so you see where your traffic's coming from. You can also integrate Google Analytics, and you can break it down into day, weekly, or monthly reports. This is really useful for actually analyzing your site and seeing where you can make improvements when your site is getting traffic and getting sales, so you can make improvements so you can become even more profitable. Shopify is also good when it comes to payment gateways, but as I mentioned in the pricing, you do have to be aware that if you're using any payment gateway other than the Shopify payments one, that you do get charged that additional transaction fee. But being a global platform, they do integrate with a large number of payment gateways, including PayPal Express, Amazon Pay, Klarna, WorldPay, and SagePay. Now you may notice that Stripe's missing from that list, and that's because the actual Shopify payments is actually powered by Stripe. So you don't need a separate Stripe integration because it all works through Shopify payments. Now you can't talk about the features of Shopify without talking about the App Store, as it's one of the main features of the Shopify platform. Now the App Store is full of apps that cover a variety of different things, such as e-commerce tools, marketing, SEO, finance management, you name it, there's apps for pretty much everything on there. And there is a lot of apps in there as well. In fact, there's over 3,000 apps you can choose from, and to begin listing them is nearly impossible because there is that many to choose from. And pretty much if there's something that's missing from the Shopify platform, somebody has created an app to remedy that. But unfortunately, not all these apps are free to use. Yes, a lot of these apps do offer free trials or free packages, but if you want access to all of the features, you may have to go onto a paid plan. And if you're not careful, it can make Shopify quite expensive on a monthly basis quite quickly. So that's all the features of the Shopify platform. And the next thing I want to talk about just before we jump into starting and seeing what the Shopify platform is like to use, is I want to talk about the performance and the web hosting of the Shopify platform, because you want to know that the hosting environment that your site is built on is going to be good for e-commerce. And Shopify do not disappoint in this respect, because with all the packages you get unlimited bandwidth. They're all hosted on PCI compliant servers, which is really good if you do need PCI compliance for some of your payment gateways. There's a global content delivery network, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, your content will be delivered quickly to your end user. They have 99.98% uptime, which is really good, and most importantly, they have blazing fast servers. That was actually taken from the Shopify website. Now this all sounds great, but I like to put them to the test. And what I did was I took 3 of their customer example websites and I ran them through Pingdom's speed test tool once a day for 3 days to get some good information. Now I'd done this using the London server, which is pretty self-explanatory. I'm based here in the UK, but it is a really good test of just how good their platform is. So how well did Shopify websites do on the test? Well, as you can see on the screen, they did really, really well, with 2 of the websites coming in well under that golden 2-second window that you do want ideally for e-commerce websites, and the other one being just over at 2.36 seconds. But the actual average load time for the 9 tests that I ran was 1.6 seconds. Now this is absolutely fantastic, especially as I was using London-based servers and the majority of Shopify's sites are hosted in the US. This just shows how good their global network is. I was really impressed with this, and it definitely puts them in the mix when it comes to the best performing e-commerce platforms out there. So now let's jump in to see what Shopify is actually like to use, because I know that's what a lot of you are probably waiting to see. Now getting started with Shopify is really easy to do. All you need to do is go to shopify.com and click on the big green Start Free Trial button, and it will bring up this display where all you need is your email address, a password, and your store name. Now once you've entered this, you'll be asked a few questions as to where you are in terms of your business. So what stage are you currently at? Are you currently trading? Are you just getting started? All things like that. And these questions are really worth answering because it will give Shopify an idea of how it can tailor the platform so that it best suits you. And then on the next page, you'll be asked about your business information, so your name, your address, things like that. Pretty standard stuff to get started. And once you've done all this, you'll be taken into your Shopify dashboard, which looks pretty much exactly like this. Now, it may vary slightly depending on the answers to your questions during the setup process, because some of these things may not display, because it does depend where you are in terms of your business. But the dashboard is a really, really nice place to be. And when you're first signing, you'll be greeted with this very simple setup guide. Now, I think this is a bit light in terms of the actual steps in it, because it doesn't include everything you need to do in order to get your Shopify store set up properly. I would have liked this to have been a little bit more in depth, include things like setting up your payment gateways, setting up your delivery methods, things like that. There's just a few things missing. Now, even though the actual setup guide isn't that great, they have created a really good series of videos that help you get started. So if you click on the Learn More About Getting Started button, you'll be taken to this page. And there's a series of videos, 27 videos in total, that they go through and they take you through every single step you need to do in order to set your Shopify store up. And this is really good, and it's really worth going through because there's a lot of information contained in these videos, and there's also a few hints and tips along the way that are really useful and really do help you get your Shopify store set up properly. So if you're completely new to the platform, I definitely would recommend going through these videos. I know it's an hour and 35 minutes, but you will learn a lot and it will set you in good stead to go and build your Shopify store properly. So once you've watched all these videos, and you should watch all these videos, you can then go back into your Shopify dashboard and actually start using Shopify as it's meant to be for building an e-commerce store. And the first thing is the Shopify dashboard is really easy to use. There's a very almost minimalistic feel to it. It's not cluttered, it's not overcomplicated. The sidebar navigation menu is really well laid out, and all the sections are clearly labeled. So there's no confusing headings or wondering what is. Everything is very well laid out. So you've got your orders, products, customers, analytics. It's really easy to start navigating your dashboard. And even if you're completely new to e-commerce, it won't take a long time to get used to navigating your way around the Shopify dashboard. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to using Shopify is what it's like to manage your inventory. So this is adding a new product, organizing your products, then managing your stock levels, as this is a really important part of running an e-commerce website. And it's somewhere you're going to spend quite a lot of time when you're managing your site. Now, adding a new product is really simple in Shopify. Just go to products, click on the add product button, and you'll be presented with the add new product page. Now, this has a really good layout, and I do really like the add new product page because it's got a really good workflow to it. It's because you start with adding your title and your description, and then it's just got a logical flow with adding your media, then your pricing, then your stock management, then your shipping, which can be turned off if you're selling a digital product, and then you can move down to variations. Then you can edit your product's SEO. So this is a really simple page. I really like it, and it really doesn't take long to get used to doing it and adding a new product to your website. Now, the next thing is organizing your inventory. Now, Shopify do things a little differently, as they've developed their own collection system, which can be accessed under the products menu by going to collections. Now, this is a bit different because there's a couple of different options you can use when it comes to setting up your collections. So when you go onto the collection screen, you just click on create collection, and you can go in and create a new collection, obviously. And you just add your title and description. You can also add an image if you want to. But then it comes to how you set up these collections. Now, the manual mode works very similar to a typical category system, as in you create the collection. So you create, say, men's t-shirts, for example, then you put all your men's t-shirts into that. Works very simple. But the automated way is a bit more complicated, and it does take a while to get used to using this, because this is based off rules using product tags. And this does take, as I say, some getting used to. And to get this working effectively, it's worth reading through the documentation and watching any videos related to this, because if you just try and do this straight away off the bat, you'll probably get it wrong and it probably won't work. So if you do want to set it up in this automated system, go through and read the documentation, because it will make your life so much easier. Now, one of the things that is a bit funny about the Shopify system is creating sub-collections, because this is a really important part of organizing your inventory. So if you have men's clothing, for example, you want to have sub-collections under that. So you want to have men's t-shirts, men's jeans, things like that. And there's no way of doing that from the actual create collection menu. You also can't go back in and edit an existing collection and make it a kind of sub-collection of another collection. This is because you actually have to do this via the navigation menu, which is in the online store section of the dashboard. So you go into the online store, click navigation, edit your main menu, and then to create sub-collections, what you have to do is set the collection you've just created as a subheading under an existing navigation menu item, and this allows you to create sub collections in that way. So they don't work in the same way as traditional category systems do. It's a little bit of a roundabout way of doing it, but it does work, and you can get it to work with a little bit of practice. So with that said about organizing your inventory, let's talk about what it's like to manage your inventory. Now, Shopify have created a really useful page called Inventory, and this allows you to edit your product quantity from this main overview menu, and you can easily add or remove stock from your existing inventory. You can either type it in, so you could type 5 in, or you can use the arrow buttons here to manually adjust it, and then you just click save and it will automatically adjust it and then update the front end of your site as well. This is really useful, and it's a really quick way of managing your inventory. And the next thing I want to talk about is managing your orders, because this is another really important part of running an e-commerce website, and it's hopefully where you're going to be spending most of your time. So you want to have a good order management system in place with your platform. Unfortunately, Shopify's isn't the best one out there, and the main reason for this is that you cannot print your orders off in bulk from the order overview page. There's just no way to do this, and this is a real big letdown for me, because if you're going to be getting a large number of orders, you want to be able to quickly and easily print off your order invoices, and there's just no way to do that in the core Shopify. You have to do this on an order by order basis, and this can get really tedious really quickly, especially if you have large number of orders. But there are some things you can do from the order overview page. You can fulfill any orders, so update the order statuses in bulk. You can also capture payments in bulk as well, and you can also export your orders. Now, if you are going to be having a large number of orders via your Shopify store, it may be worthwhile investing in third-party order management software, because it may just make your life a bit easier than trying to do it directly in the Shopify dashboard. So that is one of the things that is not quite great with Shopify, is the order management system. And the next thing I want to look at is something that really did help Shopify stand apart from the rest of the e-commerce crowd, which is their theme customization. And to do this, you just go into online store, select theme, then click customize, and it will bring up the Shopify customizer, which is one of the best tools on the market when it loads. And with this, you can add and remove sections from your homepage, and this makes it really easy to customize the look and feel of your website. You can also go into the theme settings, you can change colors, typography, edit your social media accounts, all things like this. You have a lot of control over the look and feel of your website. And so you can add and remove sections as you want. And as you can see, there are a lot of options when it comes to adding new sections. And this means you can go far beyond just having product information on your homepage. You can have content sections, you can have testimonials, you can have things like that, all things that are going to help your business, and not only for customers because they can see different things other than products, it's also going to have a benefit for your SEO, because the more content you've got on your site is more chance you have for ranking for that type of content. So this is really, really good. It's one of the best tools out there. Now, one of the ways I would love to see this customizer expanded is if you could use all these sections or options of these sections on your pages on your site. So if you wanted to create a custom About Me page, for example, it'd be great if you could go into it and add all of these sections. Unfortunately, Shopify doesn't have that functionality. When it comes to adding your pages, it's just a basic text editor that you can add images to. It doesn't have the option of all these sections, which to me is a little bit of a letdown, and it would be a great thing to see expanded basically across the site with this theme customizer, so you could really customize the look and feel of your site. It would definitely be an improvement, and it would take Shopify to that next level. So that is how you can customize your theme, and I'd say it's one of the better tools out there, and even to this day a lot of other platforms haven't even come close to having a tool as good as Shopify's. So that is pretty much the Shopify dashboard, what it's like to use, what it's like to add your products, your orders, and to customize your theme. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the support of Shopify, because when you're using a hosted platform like Shopify, support is one of the main reasons why you go for it, because it's nice to have a support team at the end of the phone or at the end of live chat that you can contact if you're having any issues. And while Shopify do offer 24/7 support, and they offer a lot of options when it comes to ways you can actually contact the support, but actually finding out how to do it isn't completely straightforward. Now, a lot of platforms will have like a live chat icon or something that enables you to quickly and easily contact the support team in your dashboard. Unfortunately, Shopify don't do that. And to contact Shopify support, what you need to do is click on this icon at the top, go to the Shopify Help Center, scroll down to the bottom, scroll past all the documentation. Now, this documentation is fantastic. There's a lot of information in there, and it is worth reading through that, especially when you're just getting started, because I say there's a lot of useful information in there. Click on this button saying contact Shopify support. Then you want to enter a search term, so let's type contact in there, click search, scroll down, and then click this button, get help from the Shopify support team. And then it will display all the ways you can actually contact Shopify. Now, while this isn't that difficult to find, it would be nice to have an option directly in your Shopify dashboard to actually contact them directly, rather than having to go through all these different steps to actually find out how to contact someone. Because if you're having a frustrating time trying to figure something out on your website, you want it to be quick and easy to contact support. And this is just a few extra steps that can just make things even more frustrating. So my conclusion of Shopify: is it the best e-commerce platform out there? I wouldn't say it is the best, because I don't think there is an overall best, but it is definitely in the conversation when it comes to the best ones that are available. So much so that I put it in all of my best of lists when it comes to e-commerce platforms. It is really good. It's really easy to use. It's pretty well priced, except for the transaction fee. There's lots of features available. It's got a great theme customizer. The dashboard's really easy to use, and they have 24/7 support. But there are a couple of negatives, as I've already mentioned. There's the transaction fee, which I just don't like transaction fees. The order management system isn't great, and the collection system could be a little bit simpler to use. But still, Shopify is a great platform, and it's definitely a great option to consider when it comes to building an e-commerce website. And if you want to try Shopify out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go through and start a free trial for yourself, so you can test it all out for yourself, because that is one of the best ways to see if a platform is right for you and your business, is to actually try it for yourself. Also, as I said, I'll leave a link in the description to my full written review, because there's probably one or two things I've actually missed in this video, which I'll have covered in my written review. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay awesome, and I'll see you on the next video.